You're going to get the real stuff in this unit. Okay? So, let me ask you, do you want the theory or the real stuff in the next 12 weeks? Okay, we'll give you the real stuff. All right, so let me show you some more real stuff. This is the baseboard for the original Apple iPhone. Interesting, here are all the suppliers. Guess what this is? This is the copy iPhone. Yes! How many of you have purchased a copy iPhone? I have. I'll bring it in next week and show you. I bought 2 of them. They're very cheap. You go down to Suntree Po. They're very cheap. 100, 200 Hong Kong dollars. Yes. You get a copy iPhone. There'll be copies of them too. But don't expect it to be the same. Like, it looks similar, but it's not an iPhone that fell off the back of a truck or was hidden at the Foxconn factory. You'll never ever get that. When I say a copy, I mean it's kind of like they try and do everything that's very similar, but of course the performance is different. Of course the battery is different. Everything is different, including soldering the LCD panel to the main board when it should be screwed down. So when you drop it, it doesn't fall apart and stop working. It's a copy. It's okay. This is big business in China. I'm not here to put down China. These factories are doing a real value-added service to over 500 million people more in India, in Africa, inland China, people that can't afford an expensive phone. And I think that's a great thing. Okay? That's just my personal opinion. But very industrious, the factory people across the border in Shenzhen. We can learn a lot from them. Everyone, people in other countries can learn a lot from how they do things. Here are the insides of an iPhone. The bill of materials is $172. That was the original iPhone. The iPhone 6, the bill of materials, I think a bit over $200 now. I think it's closer to $250 now, but less when it's being sold for $700 and $800. Okay, it's still a very high margin product. But there's your bill of materials. This is costing. Now, let's get this very clear. This course is called Strategic, what? Management Accounting. There's no cost in it. And you're probably thinking, oh, Apple, they're very strategic, aren't they? Put your hand up if you think Apple is strategic. Put your hand up if you think Apple is strategic. Come on, Apple. Hands up. Is Apple strategic? Are they strategic in the way they manage, in the way they deliver products, in the way they sell, everything? Yes or no? Well, put your hand up. Okay, I want to know that. Good. Does that mean that Apple does not pay attention to the costs? No. That's the other big thing I want you to take away tonight. Cost management is not the opposite of strategic management. Just because this course is called strategic management doesn't mean, oh, we don't look at costs. And I come and teach you about cost management, and you're thinking, no, that's not what this course is called. No, they are the two things on the same side of they're on opposite sides of the coin. You cannot look at one without looking at the other. It's important. Look at all these costs. Apple manages each one of these costs in the bill of materials. They manage it down to a T. This industry is so competitive. Even though Apple has 50-60% margins on its product, they manage the suppliers very ruthlessly. Costs down 5% every 3 months. I've even spoken to a supplier that when asked if they do cost down, they said, no, you go to our competitors, we don't do the cost down because we make the best inductors in the world. It takes a very brave supplier with an international, global, world-class manufacturing model mindset to say no to one of the biggest factories in the world. Cost management is an integral part of strategic management. You cannot just say, I'm focused on strategy, product differentiation. I'm not a cost leader. You have to do both to sustain your business in the long run. You cannot just focus on revenues. You need to focus on costs. So, having said that, here are the factors affecting cost management. You know there's new product development out there. Global competition increases costs and quality competition. What else? Here's the other big thing, and you've already mentioned it here. New product development and design costs consume a portion of production costs. They consume a portion, yes. They consume an increasing proportion, more than ever. Design costs are getting larger and larger and larger. Material costs sort of being managed. Labour costs, they're going up. People find different ways of doing more with labour, increasing productivity, so the labour cost per unit kind of goes down. We've all heard the end of cheap China. I'm here to tell you that that is a very narrow mindset, because there's so many opportunities for the factories in China if they work on their operations management, improve how they manage their costs. Two examples that many factories in China can do tomorrow, and if you're in touch with them, you should be telling them this. Number one, to start to measure their electricity and start to measure their water consumption. They get billed for that, so it's in the accounting somewhere, but they are not frequently measuring it and trying to tie it with how they use the machines and other parts of the factory, whether they can save water, save electricity. And a lot of factories can save a lot of money if they start measuring water and electricity. That's a real value takeaway. Right away, a lot of factories around China, start doing that tomorrow, can improve their cost management by doing that. That's practical, that's not theory. I'm serious. I'm serious. You need to go into an interview next year with these ideas. That's what will set you apart. That's what will make you different from the average student. Okay? Value-adding ideas that can be implementable. Let's keep going. The requirement to... By the way, how many of you want to drop out of this course now that you've heard me for the last hour? Put your hand up. Put your hand up if you feel that this course is going to be even better than what you thought after the last hour. Oh, come on, put your hand up, please. You're not sure.
It's not an elective course.
That's all right, but you can still not take it. You have a choice.
No,
you change.
have to take it.
No, change your program that you're studying. Okay. All right. The requirement to control costs. I prefer that this is an elective, because I prefer you're here because you know you're going to get value. But even though you're forced to be here, I'm going to make sure that you wished that, well, if this was an elective, I still would have chosen it. That's what I want you to go away from this course with. The requirement to control costs, particularly for firms facing price competition, encourages the use of target costing, activity-based management, and that's what we're going to cover in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Factors affecting cost management. As I said, here are the answers. Cost and quality competition. The shortened product life cycle. Managers recognise that high portion of product costs are committed during the development designed areas of the product. There is much more product development going into products these days. So this idea of the end of cheap China, it just says a shift in the value added opportunities of manufacturing in China. But you go and talk to my friend that makes battery connectors. They moved their factory from Guangzhou down to Bangkok. Number one, because of rise in labour costs. Of course, IP protection, and of course they worried about corruption. They went down to Bangkok. 6 months after they set up in Bangkok, the Bangkok government put up the minimum wage by 50%. So what I tell business owners when they're thinking strategically about where to locate, do not locate on the basis of cost alone. Because costs are going up everywhere. Costs are going up in Cambodia, Vietnam. Minimum wage in China, let's just talk about that now, real stuff. Minimum wage in China, $3 US per hour. Minimum wage in Bangladesh, do you know how much? 40 cents. Minimum wage in India, $1. But do not relocate because of those differences alone. Because that 40 cents in Bangladesh, next year could easily be 60 cents. Could easily be $1. These are the strategic decisions, and a lot of owners, factory owners, are making mistakes based on cost alone. All right, let's keep going. The requirement to control costs encourages the use of target costing and activity-based management, as I said. Here is, I went and interviewed 1,075 suppliers in the last 2010, 2012. Over 1,000 suppliers I interviewed, face to face, not a survey through the internet. Let me say, not a dumb survey through the internet. Okay, real face to face, 1 hour minimum each. Look at this. I asked over 1,000 suppliers, there's 644 for 2011, what is your number one challenge? What was the answer? Sorry, I didn't hear you. What was the answer? I can't hear you. Yes. So do you think you're going to get a supplier or factory owner's attention if you go and say, oh, I've studied strategic management accounting, I'm here to help you with your strategy? When what's on their mind is what? What's on their mind? I can't hear you. All right. See, you need to know what real business people care about. Okay? If I haven't convinced you already, this course, to implement an effective strategy, requires good cost control. It's together. You cannot say, oh, I'm the strategy person, I don't do cost control. No, it's together. You cannot do one without the other. All right? Okay, you with me here? All right, let's keep going.